Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Aloha. I'm Lara Sato, a freshman at Castle High School.
And I'm Christian Yasuoka, a junior at Roosevelt High School.
Welcome to this special edition of HIKI NŌ, the nation's first statewide student news network.
For the next half hour, Laura and I will be sharing some of the most outstanding stories from the fall 2014 quarter of HIKI NŌ with you.
All of the stories you're about to see were produced by middle and high school students from Hawaii public, charter, and private schools.
All under the supervision of their teachers and mentors from Hawaii's television, film, and journalism industries.
These features exemplify the high standards of production quality, engaging storytelling, and journalistic integrity that all HIKI NŌ stories must meet before they're approved for air.
We think you'll agree that these stories are proof positive that Hawaii students HIKI NŌ
can do. Our first story features a young woman who is excelling in an art form that comes from her cultural heritage, but is traditionally reserved for males. It was produced by the students at Kapaa Middle School on Kauai, who discovered that this story is really about the bond between a young woman and her two older brothers.
Kaylin Drake, the only female fire knife dancer on Kauai, shares her family's tradition while enduring the heat of her scalding baton.
I enjoy doing fire knife dancing because I get to practice my Samoan culture. My brothers and my family from Oahu got me into fire knife dancing.
Nowadays, fire knife dancing is used for entertainment purposes. Back then, it was made out of two weapons, so it was a warrior dance back in the olden days. But now it's just for entertainment, showing the warriors that what they can do with skills with the fire.
My first time doing fire knife dancing without fire was when I was 5 years old, and I started with fire 2 years ago.
With the privilege of having two older brothers, Kaylin is constantly watched and critiqued and strives to improve her technique. Going against tradition, this princess proves that girls can also take the heat.
When she first started to do fire knife dancing, I wasn't too thrilled about it because we were sticking with traditions. And traditionally, princesses didn't do the fire dance.
When my sister is doing the fire knife dancing, what amazes me is just that how she can keep her composure while dealing with the fire and spinning. Also just not being so nervous to perform in front of everybody.
Watching her over this year, getting more involved with the community of fire knife dancing, I get excited to see pictures and photos, especially if I'm not there.
Though fire knife dancing may appear really fun, it can also be very dangerous.
Before, when I first started with fire, I kept getting burned and getting hurt, and I wasn't really used to it. But now, I don't really get burned a lot, and I'm starting to learn more tricks and stunts and cool stuff that people would get more interested in.
Kaylin's older brothers have been fire knife dancing since their elementary school years. They have passed on their skills to Kaylin just as they were taught by their elders.
When my sister becomes my age, I think she will become as good, maybe even better than me if she keeps practicing.
I do think of passing it down to the next generation to keep the culture going and the tradition.
This is Haley Gokan from Kapaa Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, is a progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. An ALS diagnosis can be devastating for the patient and his or her family, but it can also serve as a wake-up call to cherish every moment you have with the people you love. The following story by students from Maui High School is about one ALS patient's appreciation of time spent with their daughter and husband.
Drink milk and snuggle and watch a movie together.
6-year-old Avalon Enyern is her mother Paula's angel, but that doesn't make Paula's life heaven on earth.
Hopefully hopefully in the future, families don't have to go through this anymore.
Paula hasn't always been this willing to acknowledge her struggle with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, commonly known as ALS.
It took me a while to get to the doctors because much of it I didn't want to hear.
In ALS victims, the nerve cells controlling muscles fail. Little by little, their body becomes impossible to move, eventually becoming so weak that it no longer works.
It's devastating on families. You can never get used to one state of being because something else goes. I live every day in hope and a desire to live and have the next 30 years with my family. But it is very rare that we live past 2 to 5 years from diagnosis.
Paula doesn't want the moments she has left with her daughter to hit any low notes.
The flowers go up in the lily pads.
She doesn't know all that. Oh, okay. Not to that extent.
Yeah. Only some.
This September, Avalon School hosted one of the many recent ice bucket challenges that have been flooding social media. This event really hit home when Doris Todd Memorial Christian School decided to keep it local.
And then the teacher said, Paula, we want to raise awareness for ALS. And we want it to stay here, and we want to give it to you. And so they gave me the money. They all hugged me, kissed me.
I hugged her so much.
Just because Paula is fatally diagnosed doesn't mean she has to stop living. She still has many more snuggles left for Avalon.
Everybody has a choice when they hear that they have been diagnosed with something that has no cure. And I choose to live in a blessed way. I choose to not let it take away the love that I have for my family. I choose for it not to take my joy away every single day.
Cheers!
This is Sydney Dempsey from Maui High School for HIKI NŌ.
One of the unique features of HIKI NŌ is the program's ability to present stories from highly localized communities to a statewide and worldwide audience. With 90 participating schools spread across the island chain, it's no wonder that HIKI NŌ often unearths gems, like the following story by students at Waihona, Naauao Public Charter School about a Waianae farmer's annual tradition.
For most, Thanksgiving will come on November 27th this year, but for the family at the Kahaa farm, Thanksgiving comes a little early. Matthew Kahaa is a second-generation farmer, father, grandfather, and the man behind the tasty annual tradition in Waianae.
Yeah, I was pretty much born on a farm, raised up all my life, still on the farm here. I'm glad I was raised on a farm because yeah, we never did starve. Always had food on the table.
And once a year, he puts food on the table for dozens of people. He throws a paina, or traditional Hawaiian feast, for friends, families, neighbors, and more. Kahaa prepares 400 or 500-pound pigs for the imu, and that's just the beginning.
I like to do it the authentic ways. That's part of my roots there. I do it all in the imu, lau, kalupi, kulolo, kalu ham, turkey, and share our blessing to give back to all, everybody, family, loved ones, friends, neighbors, who helped us during the years.
He doesn't do it alone. Kaha'aina's wife, Terry, not only helps prepare the feast, she holds the entire household and family together. 6 children and 15 grandchildren in all.
Terry. The word Terry is my sugar there. She means everything to me. Not only to me, but to Waihona. She's the one that keeps us together, and she brings us together.
I really thank God for all of them. And they're good kids. You know, not because they're my kids, but it's because they're special in their own way, and they've been really, they've been a great asset to our lives, mine and Matthew's. So I love them all.
It may come as no surprise that the Kaha'ainas choose to celebrate this way. Even the meaning of Matthew's family name speaks of joyful sharing.
Kaha'aina means a festive land. Over the years, I am very thankful for all the blessings we receive. So I like to give back to all those who have blessed us too. So that's why we have friends, whoever wants to come over and help.
The tradition continues with eldest son Mark producing ono grinds at the farm inspired Mark to open his own restaurant, the Kaha'aina Cafe, which is tucked behind the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Center. It's just another delicious way the Kaha'aina family shares their blessings with the community.
Good job.
This is Kristen Guzman from Waihona, Naauao Public Charter School for HIKI NŌ.
Web-based communication is one of the pillars of HIKI NŌ. It's hard to imagine a HIKI NŌ before the advent of the internet, and sometimes this technology becomes the subject of a HIKI NŌ feature. The following primer from Wheeler Middle School explores how contemporary technology can help resolve an ages-old dilemma.
In Hawaii, a popular type of party is a potluck party. Guests often bring a dish of their choosing to contribute to the menu of the gathering of family and friends. But what if everyone brings the same type of food? Your guests may be unhappy and your party may be ruined.
Hey guys, I brought cookies!
If you, your friends, and your family have an internet access and have signed up for a free Gmail account, then there may be a simple solution to ensure a well-rounded party menu. Party planners can simply make a Google Doc. A Google Doc is an online word processing document that can be shared with anyone who also has a Gmail account. It is a free application that comes with your Gmail account. Everyone with your permission may edit the document. If several people are online adding to the document at the same time, the change will appear before everyone's eyes. There is no need to resend the document to everyone each time edits are made. The changes are made automatically to everyone's potluck list. As long as everyone signs up for something different, you'll never have to worry about not having enough variety at your potluck event. The ways you can collaborate using a shareable Google Doc are endless. Siblings can use the tool to suggest present ideas for their parents.
What? A camera? Let's get him a jersey.
Or friends can use the tool to plan a weekend outing.
I wonder if anyone wants to go to the movies. There's a lot of good things playing right now.
Hey, how about we go to the game?
We hope you can use our tips on using Google Docs to make planning the things in your life easier.
One of the traits of a civilized society is that it gives those who have lost their way a chance to get their lives back on track. Based on that criterion, this story from Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School reveals that a certain business on Kauai may be one of the most civilized places in the world to get a cup of coffee.
Meet Gail Mandy. She is the manager of the Plantation Coffee Company in the town of Lihui. She makes fresh coffee to help people get a fresh start. But when Gail was younger, she also needed a fresh start of her own.
At the age of 13, I started with smoking weed, and then the alcohol got involved, and then eventually I grew up and got into other harder stuff like meth and cocaine. That wasn't a pretty sight. I ended up in jail. I did 4 years in jail.
When Gail joined the Plantation Coffee Company, she got the help she needed to get over her addiction.
You know, people has given me a little grace, and that's what makes me strive and to be a better person. I mean, people kind of helped me along the line, you know? Yeah, you need people to help you. Can't do it yourself.
After Gail turned her life around, she decided to help the lives of others, especially troubled teenagers.
We as employees try to go ahead and help the kids steer in the right direction, you know, kind of use us as an example. Well, there's a program called Halikipa, and the person that runs Halikipa is the owner of Plantation Coffee. So they come and do some community service at first, and then eventually they might go ahead and get a job depending on how busy we get, and they become part of Plantation Coffee in a sense.
My life has been excellent ever since I started working at the coffee company. A lot of changes, good changes, positive changes.
It's been great, actually. Been clean and sober, making money, open my own bank account, actually get my high school diploma, and then go to KCC, get my associates in probably culinary.
The Plantation Coffee Company did not only help high school dropouts, but helped Gail as well.
Everybody, I mean, the owners, my co-workers, the environment, I mean, the people that come in, you can be you. You don't have to go ahead and pretend not to be you. We have a good relationship. We laugh around, we joke around.
But for Gail, learning to move on from her past wasn't always easy.
My greatest struggle would be getting past my past. It's not easy to forget, but I can move on too, yeah.
Despite her struggles, Gail has been able to push on forward and be the woman she is today. This has been Brandon Marcos from Chiefess Kamakahelei Middle School for HIKI NŌ.
Most HIKI NŌ episodes are hosted by a home-based school. The hosts from the home-based school take us on a tour of their school and/or community. Sometimes the tour takes us far off the beaten track, leading us to little-known treasures. Such was the case when students from Kua o Kala Public Charter School's Milolii Hipuu Virtual Academy hosted a show. Here are a couple of stops along their tour.
We live on a slope of an active volcano, Mauna Loa. Behind me, you can see the lava flowed in this direction in 1926. Along our coast, Ho'opuloa was one of the larger villages with a store, a post office, and a landing for trading ships. The 1926 lava flow destroyed Ho'opuloa as well as the bay. Because many residents of Milolii are descendants of those displaced Ho'opuloa villagers, the whole region is now generally referred to as Milolii. Just as Ho'opuloa was destroyed by lava, today Pele continues to exercise her power. Access to our parent school in Puna is threatened by the 2014 lava flow.
We're back in the village of Milolii. La Inima is a song written by Elizabeth Kuahuia. It tells of a 19th century earthquake in Kaiko'o, rough seas, that destroyed part of our village. Many homes were swept into the sea, but strangely and miraculously, the Hau'oli Kamana'o church you see behind me was carried hundreds of yards to safety. The villagers feared that their children were carried away, but they returned home the next morning. Our Uncle Walter recalls.
And that is why La Ilima is celebrated so vociferously, so enthusiastically, because where we thought we had lost the future of the village, instead they were saved.
Each of us will face some hardship during the course of our lives. But when you see a story about someone who has had to deal with an unimaginable setback, then overcomes it with tremendous courage and grace, it helps to put your own problems in perspective. The following story from students at Iolani School celebrates the ability of the human spirit to survive, adapt, and triumph.
Summer Kozai graduated from Iolani School in 2000. After an MBA from Northeastern, she returned to Hawaii to work as an auditor for the federal government.
Summer Kozai.
But at age 26, after a trip to the Marshall Islands, Summer fell sick with severe flu-like symptoms.
On April 24th, 2009, I felt really sick, and so I went to Queens Hospital to the ER, and as soon as I got there, I went into shock. And after the point where I told them I couldn't breathe, I can't really remember anything.
Bacterial meningitis is a potentially life-threatening disease. It can cause paralysis, gangrene, stroke, brain damage, and even death.
Mentally, handling surgery was the easy part. It was the physical part that was hard for me because it's like major surgery. I had, I think, not really a full idea of how major it was at the time.
Summer became a quadruple amputee as a result of complications from meningitis.
Summer's diagnosis was the most medically severe case that I've ever seen and that I've ever worked with. She is a fighter. I mean, I've never seen anyone that has this tenacious spirit that she would never give up. It wasn't an I can't attitude. It was always I can, I will, I must. This is how my life is going to be and I'm going to do it.
February 19th, 2010. The power of positive thinking has a great deal to do with success in life. I really understood that power at the point where there was no option but to see the good in life. It has to be a conscious choice to see what could have been and be grateful for what is. There are times when the pain is ridiculous, but then I have to be grateful that I'm able to feel.
Just for breakfast.
I need to tell my story. Every time I share it, I get stronger. One day soon, I'll walk into chapel and share my story. I'll tell the kids that I was them and that they need to listen and learn while they can. Peace and love, Summer.
I feel so blessed to know Summer. You know, for years it was, I'm going to walk into chapel. You've probably heard that, you know, I'm going to come into chapel. She's got a lesson for all of us, you know. We get so caught up in things that are so manini and make them so big. She's a role model. She lives bigger than most of us do.
If someone had told me when I graduated that I would be back here doing an all-school assembly, I think I would probably freak out since I barely could get through speech class in 9th grade. That being said, I've been through...
March 10th, 2010. Being positive with regard to my situation requires a strong will to consciously focus on only happy things, because it's so easy to visually recognize reasons to be upset with my new life. I'll always miss what I physically lost. I'll never again be able to feel my toes in the sand or feel an engagement ring on my finger, but I'm not angry. I'll feel the ocean again, and I'll find someone who makes me so happy that a ring won't matter. See, there are always two sides. To sum it up, a long time ago, I made a promise to myself to always live my life with grace and to always try to take the high road, however difficult the situation was. I'm always thankful for what I have and who I am, because I know that this is nothing compared to another person who is hurting just as much, but for other reasons. Grace and the high road, that's the way to go.
Today, Summer is back at work, learning to drive, and continuing to inspire others. This is Caroline Kodama from Iolani School for HIKI NŌ.
We hope you've enjoyed watching these outstanding features from the 2014 fall quarter of HIKI NŌ as much as we've enjoyed presenting them to you.
They are a testament to the depth, breadth, and diversity of the stories that appear on the nation's only statewide student news network.
All through the eyes of Hawaii's young people.
Tune in next week for more proof that Hawaii students HIKI NŌ can do.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.